Mental health, ladies. Ladies, that's it. Just no more men. Mental health, ladies and gentlemen, mental health. It is so important for everyday life. The healthier this is up here, the better your diet, and the healthier your exercise schedule, the better you are going to become. To combine these three things together, just like that old Nintendo game, the Triforce, you had the three triangles come together to make the bigger triangle. This is what this video series is intending to do, and that's help you achieve a better standard and quality of life. So if you haven't already, I implore you to check out part 1 and part 2 of how I exercise and also how I eat every day. And I'm not perfect by any means, but I do have a lot of energy to cut videos day in, day out on YouTube and still have a very good smile on my face. So today we're going to touch base on a topic of mental health. Now I get it, before we get into this video, there are some people out there who are just SOL, and there's certain things that have happened, certain physical disabilities, certain mental disabilities that just prevent them from being 100%, that prevent them being what they could have been. But either way, hopefully you can gain something useful out of today's video. But before we do get on with this video, I will say that I'm an absolute nobody when it comes to diagnosing any problems like this. Disclaimer alert, I have no qualifications. This is just a personal guide of me talking about my experience with what I've encountered during my life and how I've beat it, how I've overcome it. Except I'm not like Dadman because he's on another level. Truth has it, Dadman has beaten diabetes with his mind.
Yeah, I was diagnosed with diabetes, but I beat it with my mental power.
Anyhow, onto some statistics here with mental health and brain energy. In the last 12 months, 1 in 5 Australians have experienced some sort of mental disorder, with the most prevalent being that of anxiety. So today we're going to talk about anxiety and how I overcome it. Also, nearly 50% of Australians have sometime during their life experienced some sort of mental disorder. But all that aside, all mental disorders and also all your happiness, joy, and good times, and also a lot of your energy comes from this here, the brain, which in itself uses around about 20% of your daily intake of energy, which in equivalent, they say a human uses about 100 watts, and the brain itself uses 20 watts. But also the brain itself, tissue for tissue, uses up over 10 times more per gram than any other tissue in your body. It is also so important to the point where if it loses blood for 8 to 10 seconds, you will lose consciousness. Then, which is why if you exercise, and we can see one end of the extreme where if you lose blood, you lose consciousness, then there's the other end of the extreme. If everything's really well oiled, then blood's gonna be flowing through and your brain is gonna be at 100% capacity. So now we've got our exercise down pat. We've got our diet fixed up. We're no longer drinking sodas and sugar-rated drinks every day. And we are finally on to dealing with this right here. Sometimes it can be a roller coaster, ladies and gentlemen. I get it. Me, when I wake up, some days I just feel like crap. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to see anyone, which is another thing. Because I'm pretty much introverted, my personality. So when times like this come along, everyone copes with it differently. I just say, me personally as a human being, I've got a natural cycle. Some weeks I'll feel over the moon, and then some weeks I'll just feel a little bit energyless, a little bit down, I guess. But it's not depression, it's sort of just the natural, in my opinion, human cycle. I don't think we were meant to be happy 24 hours a day. And so having some good family and friends around you would be the most important thing to do straight away. And this is a big problem because nowadays I hear a lot of I, me. And when I hear people and see people like that around me, I try to give them some help initially, but some of the times people just can't put themselves in other people's shoes. And so I walk away from people like that. I don't have them in my life. For me, it's sort of like you, I. With me usually putting the first step forward and thinking about the other person. And when you get those relationships and you get into having friends and family that are in your life like this, your life is going to be so much better. Your life is just going to keep getting that much better. At least this is my personal experience with it. But of course, we're going to keep on talking about this tangent of being down and feeling sad or even feeling depressed, because it's important to note that when you're happy, you appreciate being happy that much more because you've been through the downers, because you've been through the hard times, the sad times. That all makes that happy moment, that happy time much more appreciated. And I mean, for me personally, I've got a pretty happy life. Even though it's very busy, I still enjoy myself as much as I can. And the weirdest thing is, as I said before with the introverted thing, I implore you guys to take a personality test. Find out if you're introverted or extroverted. Extroverted people generally get energy out of being outside and socializing people. Introverted people will generally gain their energy when they're by themselves and they have their alone time. Me personally, I just like to at least once a week drop everything I'm doing, maybe watch a movie or play some video games and not talk to anyone at all. It's weird, I know, but that's what my body needs. It craves it. I'm guessing on the other end of the spectrum, the extrovert needs to do this to recharge. If they've been watching too many movies or they've been in an office by themselves too much, then they may be losing it. And they might just say, look, I need to go out and have some social time and satisfy that extrovertedness that resides within. So you have to figure out what you are and what your body and mind crave from the get-go. Once you find that out, you're on the step to a balance. And that's what it's all about. The happy times are easy. We're not really going to talk about them today too much because you're not really conscious of, hey, I'm happy at the moment. No, you're too busy enjoying the happy times. But when you're not enjoying yourself, that's when you start to get conscious about it. That's when the disorders come about. That's when the anxieties come about. However, I'm here to say it's all part of the balance. You have to learn to develop the discipline to just accept these feelings. And if you can't cope with them, then that's where you need to figure out how to change your lifestyle up to then cope with them. Whether it's an exercise thing, whether it's a diet thing, or whether it's a situational thing, whether there's some other factors at play. Your job, for instance, it sucks. You hate your job. You are miserable at your job. Save up enough money, quit your job, find something else. You've got that person in your life who is just bringing you down all the time. Guess what? Tell them to GTFO out of your life. Trust me, I ridded these people out of my life a good 10 years ago. Never spoken to them again, and I've never been happier. Hey, you clicked on this video, I didn't make you click on it, and you asked me for the Tech Yes Health video. This is how I'm telling you to get that equilibrium balance. So we touched on writing down things that you're anxious about, things that you may be depressed about. Also in itself, writing down your goals and things you need to do. Sometimes having too much on your mind will cause stress, will cause anxiety. And it's actually statistically proven that writing down these things actually reduces anxiety and therefore can in turn reduce stress. So if you haven't already, at least once a week, write down all the things you need to do, starting from a list of the most important things to the least important things, and it may just help you out that little bit more. Also now it's time to talk about the biggest thing I think nowadays that's causing a lot of problems that people don't talk about, and that is stress. When our ancestors were all monkeys jumping on trees way back in the day, they didn't have any of these modern day stresses that we had. They didn't have to wake up out of bed at a certain time to go to work. They didn't have to worry about paying a mortgage, paying for the kids' tuition, paying for food, paying for electricity bills, paying for internet, paying for drugs. These stresses were never there. There was only the stress of having to get the next meal and stay warm. So whatever you do, try to reduce your stress. Me, I try to make down a schedule. Every single day I write down things I need to get done. And that's why this health video in itself has been delayed, because I've got friends and family that need my help. I've got work that's pushed this back to the point where it's finally getting done now. But that's how I manage stress, and I organize and I prioritize things that I have to do, and also prioritize my introvertedness and my alone time, which I do need, otherwise I'll be losing it. So what's come out of this in part 3 is that this here, the mental health, I believe is a big factor on a few different things. First of all, if you're not exercising and you're not eating properly, you have to do those things. You have to give your brain the energy, the blood flow, all the factors that it needs to be at 100%. Second of all, figure out who you are as an individual. Are you introverted or are you extroverted? Are you somewhere in between? Figure out a plan or a routine that you can get into to satisfy your natural inner unconscious needs of your extrovertedness or introvertedness. Third thing of all, if you have really toxic people or negative people in your life that are just bringing you down, or you have a job that you just hate, then you have to figure out how you can change the situation. I recommend on top of this, sort of segueing in with the next point, is making a list of things that stress you out, things you need to get done, and also things that you need to fix. Is your job bad? Fix it. Do you have toxic people in your life? get rid of them. Like, don't do anything to them, just like don't talk to them and just sort of weed them out of your life. Or if they can be helped, show them this 3-part series. Maybe I could help them. Number 4, get that list and write down things that are on your mind and also a plan on how you can fix those things or what you're going to do about them. In other words, your goals and how you're going to achieve them. Every week you need to be doing this. Some people do it every day. I personally do it every week and I'm doing just fine. And then last of all is not really a point. I just want to let you guys know my personal experience, and that is there's just a balance in life. I think you're not going to feel happy 100% of the time, all the time. If you are, then I'd love to meet this person. Please comment in the comment section below. I think you'd have an amazing brain. And if you're a woman, please I want to have some happy babies. But there is that balance. Just remember, when you're happy, just enjoy it. That's what life's all about, getting to those good moments. But stop for a moment and say, hey, maybe I appreciate those moments because of the other side, the yin and the yang. Don't worry too much because it's only going to create its own problems in itself. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's part 3 of the Tech Yes Health series. If you did, then be sure to hit that like button. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any questions or comments about today's video, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And I'll catch you in another tech video very soon because the health videos have concluded. Peace out for now. Bye. Which is why I implore you to have a good exercise. Don't wreck yourself too soon. I need someone to make a teleportation device and take me back to the 80s. I need to get back there quick.